When we look at doing these cost of living videos, today being about Denver, Colorado, we have noticed on the back end when we're talking about those YouTube analytics, this isn't one of your favorites. You want to see that glitz and that glam, right? You want to know about these certain cities that we oftentimes talk about. At the same time, this is important information. You guys want to know what it's actually going to cost you if you decide to relocate into Denver, Colorado. And so when we see that, we try to establish these videos in a different way to where we can approach it to where not only are we giving you numbers that you could probably just Google or do whatever you want, but also offer up our personal insights. So towards the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you my opinion on whether or not I think the prices or the cost of living in Denver are going to be going up or down, and a few of them might surprise you. First things first though, let's start this video out with those normal statistics that we kind of look at. Majority of these statistics that we look at though, we pull from bestplaces.net. First one being is how much is it going to cost you on average as a family and then also as a single person to live within Denver, Colorado. According to bestplaces.net, it's going to cost you about $9,210 per month to live comfortably, I guess you could say, as a family within Denver, Colorado. Being single, it's going to cost you about $5,300 a month. How does that stack up when we're comparing it to the nation though? Is Denver compared to pretty much the rest of the country? So as a family, that's actually going to be 70.6% more as compared to the national average. As a single person, it's going to cost you about 11.2% more compared to your national average. So yes, okay, we know this. We know that Denver, Colorado has been much more expensive than a lot of these other areas, and we've seen that trend happening over the last 10, let's see, I'd say probably about 15, no, I wouldn't say 15 years. I'd say it really started to pick up right around 2013 is when I really started noticing this cost of living going up. We also want to break into things though that's not just driven by your nationwide inflation, because anyone could sit here and say, gosh, the grocery stores are so much more expensive. Everything is more expensive recently due to inflation. So I'm going to pull in some different factors towards the end of this video that are exclusive to Colorado that you might want to expect when we are talking about that cost of living. Let's go and break into a few of these subcategories though, and if you've ever watched one of our cost of living videos, what we like to do is pull that cost of living index where 100 is your national average. If it's above that, then it's more expensive, and if it's below it, then it's cheaper than your national average. So if we look at it as a whole, and I'm also going to be comparing Denver to Colorado as a whole, that way we can kind of get an idea how much more expensive the city of Denver is as compared to the state of Colorado. Overall, you're looking at a 127.6 in Denver, where in Colorado it's a 120.5. So both are obviously more expensive than your national average, and Denver is still a little bit more expensive than Colorado as a whole. These subcategories, the first one we always like to do is going to be your groceries. Groceries comes in right at a 101.9, where the state of Colorado comes in at a 100.7. So both are a little bit more expensive than your national average. Denver is going to be more expensive than the state of Colorado. The next subcategory that we'd like to break into is health. And health we have seen since we've had this channel for, what was it, 3? I think we're about to hit 4 years? We're about to hit 4 years that we've had this channel. And health has always been lower in Denver as compared to the nation. Where do we come out with that cost of living index? In Denver, you're looking at a health cost of living index of an 83.9, and the state of Colorado comes in at 83.8. So it's pretty much a wash when we are comparing Denver to the state of Colorado. We have seen that healthcare has been cheaper as compared to your national average, which is awesome. It's great that we do have cheaper healthcare in Denver and the state of Colorado as compared to the nation. The one subcategory though that is one of the biggest driving factor as to why Denver is expensive as compared to the nation is going to be our housing number. Now this housing number does incorporate purchasing and then also renting within Denver, Colorado. That number comes in on your cost of living index at a 183.1, so definitely much higher than your national average. It's also going to be higher than the state of Colorado, where Colorado comes in at a 167.5. This is going to be the biggest driving factor as to why the cost of living in Denver is so much more expensive. Now let's go ahead and cover a few of these other subcategories. I believe there's only 3 more of them left. The next one's going to be your utilities. What are you going to be paying utilities as compared to the nation? In Denver, Colorado, you're looking at a 96.2, whereas the state of Colorado, you're looking at a 98.4. So Denver is actually a little bit cheaper as compared to the state of Colorado when we are talking about those utilities. Then we move on to transportation. What does this incorporate? It pretty much incorporates the cost of, to pretty much insure your vehicles, the cost of maintenance on your vehicles, the cost for public transportation within Denver. That transportation number actually comes in at a 116.1. The state of Colorado comes in at a 106.7. So it is going to be a little bit more expensive in Denver as compared to the state of Colorado. If I was going to throw something out there, I'd say that probably the biggest factor in this is probably going to be your auto insurance. It definitely does seem like it's a lot more expensive in Denver as compared to the surrounding suburbs and stuff like that. That might be the biggest driving factor as to why transportation is more expensive in Denver as compared to the state of Colorado. The final subcategory is going to be your miscellaneous. What is your miscellaneous? The cost to go out to eat at those restaurants, the cost to go shopping, all those different things, those boutiques that we like to talk about within Denver as compared to Colorado. That number's cost of living index comes in at a 152.2. The state of Colorado comes in at a 120.4. So miscellaneous, the cost to go out and eat, the cost to go out and do those activities within Denver is definitely much more expensive than your national average, and is also more expensive than the state of Colorado. Now that we've covered those cost of living indexes, we're going to break into some more defined numbers when we are talking about those median sales prices to purchase a home within Denver, Colorado. Before I do so though, guys, if you guys are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you're in discovery mode trying to figure out what Denver, Colorado is all about. We are your top relocation team, helping out so many people who are relocating into Colorado. Make sure you give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below it there, we always answer. It doesn't matter day or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, you're trying to figure out where exactly you're wanting to move, make sure you follow along and educate yourself on the latest stuff coming into Colorado by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video. All right, let's go ahead and dive into these real estate numbers. So these real estate numbers are all based off of October. We have not got those November numbers over yet. So we're talking about October of 2024, that median sales price. Overall, if we put together your single family products and your attached products into one number, that number overall is going to be $615,000 for your median sales price. And that number is actually up year over year, 6.96%. So awesome. If you are currently own a property within Denver, Colorado, you're seeing some equity gains. If you're looking to purchase in Denver, Colorado, and you're holding on, you're like, holy crap, the numbers are going up, I might want to pull the trigger now, which we personally see as a positive sign for real estate. When we are property owners within Denver, we want to make sure that we are seeing some type of equity gains on our investments. If we break that down even further though, it's just your single family products. The median sales price on your single family products is going to come in at $675,000, so a little bit more than your overall number. And that number is still up, not as much as your overall, but it's up 2.39% year over year. When we are talking about year over year, we're comparing the median sales price of October of 2023 to October of 2024. What do those attached products look like though? If we look at your attached products, so your condos, townhouses, and row homes, that median sales price is coming in at $401,000. It's not up as much year over year though. It's actually up only a tiny little bit at 0.19%. And we actually, like towards the beginning, or I guess the Q2 of this year, we saw this number reverse a little bit because we saw that a lot of people with those interest rates going up a little bit higher, they're getting moved down a little bit in how much they could actually purchase, and they're moving into these attached products. So it's interesting to see that these single family products are now, it's flipped back toward that they are increasing more in value than your attached products, much different from what we saw earlier this year when we really saw those interest rates start to spike up. All right, cool, you hung around this long. We are going to be talking about some opinion pieces and some things that we experienced in Colorado, and just kind of talking about whether or not will costs go up. Before I dive into this though, let me just talk about, like, if we're talking over the last 10 years, yes, prices have definitely gone up. Denver became one of those super populous cities that a lot of people did relocate into. Back in the day when I was flipping back in, I think between 2011 2013, I was getting some killer deals, guys. I was getting houses for $40,000, $80,000, pretty much under $100,000 is when I was purchasing these houses. Those houses today are now worth quadruple what I initially purchased. Actually, the ones that I was purchasing for 40 are probably worth tenfold what I was purchasing them for back in the day. We have seen prices gone up. Outside of the whole inflation conversation, I am not taking that in consideration. We have seen housing prices go up when we are talking about Denver, Colorado. Will they continue to go up though? That's the biggest question. One of the bigger questions I want to talk about though is property taxes. We have seen property taxes go up recently within the last 4 years, and there's one biggest factor to that: Gallagher. Gallagher was repealed in 2020. What did Gallagher do? Essentially what Gallagher did was there was a ceiling on how much property taxes could be increased, because it kept that cap at where it's like only 40% of the state's property taxes could come from residential, where the other 55% pretty much came from your small businesses and your commercial properties. And so a lot of these local municipalities, and even the state of Colorado, Denver, and all these people, they're saying that there was a shortfall of local funding, right? Of the funding, of the state funding that was coming in from property taxes, where 80% of the state's total tax value that could be coming in was from residential property, but they could only take in 45% of that per Gallagher. So they repealed Gallagher, and it's just been chaos ever since then. Like the first couple years following, there was on average like 30% or more increases in property taxes on a lot of these houses, and people were freaking out. It has been hectic. It has been a deal, and we've been battling with it ever since Gallagher was repealed. Me personally, it's like, why are we looking to repeal this if we don't have something to replace it? That's where we kind of had this chaos, this spin out, because initially before Gallagher was repealed, Colorado was the third lowest state when we're talking about property taxes. What made it so appealing for so many people to relocate into Denver, Colorado? And so this year there was supposed to be a ballot initiative. I believe it's 108 and 150, where one was supposed to cut property taxes, and then the other one was supposed to put another ceiling on residential property taxes. But then the legislatures looked at this and like, hold on, I think we're going to be creating another problem out of this. Anyways, they decided to kick the can down the road. They came to an agreement. Polis passed something, I believe it was back in September. Polis, for those of you who don't know, is the governor of Colorado. Back in September, to kind of like cut it less than what they were supposed to be going up year over year as in regards to those property taxes. But essentially what they did is kick the can down the road for another 6 years. What I'm saying with this, and when we're talking about will costs go up, I believe this property tax thing is going to be a huge burden for the years to come. It's just one of those things that they have not found a solution to. They're constantly bickering about it, about local funding, cutting that, or do we cut the property taxes for homeowners? It's just one of those constant bickerings where before with Gallagher, I feel like it would have been better just to reform it in a way to where we just didn't completely eliminate it, and now we're stuck in this problem. So I do expect property taxes to continue to go up, where Colorado is always known to have lower property taxes, and that might not be the case. And so we might see property taxes going up. Then also as a property owner, being one of those things that will be that cost of living that goes up just a little bit more year over year. The other thing that I can't see going up is going to be your homeowner's insurance. This is a channel you're probably watching because you're looking to purchase a home within the state of Colorado. Of course, today specifically we're talking about Denver. But Colorado is ranked the 8th highest state in the United States when we are talking about homeowner's insurance. Obviously, you got places like Florida who are coming in at number 1. But there's 2 main reasons why we are ranked 8th in regards to that homeowner's insurance. So we're talking about hail and then also wildfires. I think I read a stat where like when we're talking about hail insurance claims, Colorado comes in at number 2 when we are talking about those insurance claims. So we're talking about hail hitting your roofs, sidings, windows. We just had a huge hailstorm this year that there was a ton of property owners who came in doing those claims because of the hailstorm, got roofs replaced, siding replaced, all those good things. So I'm guessing that it is going to lead to like a homeowner's insurance increase for the years to come. But those are the 2 main reasons why we do have higher homeowner's insurance when we are talking about that. And I can only see it going up and up. Only time will tell, but just know that the homeowner's insurance in Colorado, although it's not as high as some other states, it is still a lot higher than the majority of the states within the United States. Another way I could see the cost of living going up is the number 1 reason why Colorado or Denver is rated so high is home prices. So currently right now home prices, you know, it's up 6%. Where prior to that, when we were really in the lower interest rates, we were experiencing double digits increases year over year, where now it's more in the single digits, a little bit more manageable when you're looking to purchase. if interest rates do go down, now I don't see anyone saying that they think they're going to dip down into the threes like we experienced back before, but if they dip down to the low fives, we personally, the people that we talk to that call us from this channel all the freaking time, are holding on for rates to go down. If rates do go down, we are going to get a flood of buyers into the market. With that, we're going to come back to those bidding wars, those buying wars, where people are constantly trying to outbid each other. With that, due to supply and demand, we are going to see an increase in home prices. That's why we always talk about, would you rather pay more for a house, or would you rather pay for a house where it is right now with a higher interest rate, where then 6 months to a year later you could refinance and get that lower interest rate, but not having to worry about paying more for that house, because you can't reduce that. You're going to pay what you pay for that house. That does not go down. When we talk about your mortgage rate, it's like, yeah, you're at a higher interest rate now, but then you can refinance and bring that cost down. So that's why we constantly weigh our pros and cons. Obviously, if you're in a state right now where you're like, you know what, I want to buy a house at this price point, I can't do that right now because, you know, interest rates are between 6 and 7 right now. I can't purchase a house because this is what I want, and I just can't do that because of the interest rates. Everything is understandable in our mindset, and we never try to push anyone into making an unhealthy decision for their financial well-being. I'm just saying that that's what we always weigh. Just know that if we do get back into that bidding war, those buying wars, come 2025, housing prices are going to go up. The only way they wouldn't go up is for some reason the market was flooded with a ton of inventory where we had more supply than demand. Then we're not going to see that. It's just really rare that we're going to run into that scenario. A good thing about this though is if interest rates go down and you have more people purchasing, we might start to see rents level out or even dip down a little bit because you don't have many renters out there. We saw a huge flood of renters come into the market because they weren't ready to purchase because interest rates are so much higher. So people are like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent for the next year and then just see where interest rates are at. With that, you had a lot of renters flood the market. Rents started to drive up a little bit, supply and demand. So the good thing about if we do see a lot of buyers flood the market, more people looking to purchase homes, rental prices might level out a little bit or even come down a little bit. It's always those, just weighing those pros and cons, kind of see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully this is a little bit more entertaining when we are talking about the cost of living in Denver. If you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right there, we have assembled the best team of relocation experts to help you out with all your real estate needs. But if you're not quite ready to purchase and you want to educate yourself on all the latest coming into the Denver Metro all the way up into Fort Collins, make sure you smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video. Till next time, love ya. Bye.